Good afternoon, people. This is your girl from Mel's Mat Chat, and this is episode 270. Wow, wow, wow. Getting closer to the wire for Christmas, people. I want to wish everybody a happy Hanukkah, a pre-Merry Christmas, and a future Kwanzaa. I don't know when that's falling on, but I like to make sure that I represented everybody, and I don't want to keep saying happy holidays because it's a ridiculous situation. It's so easy to say Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy Kwanzaa. It is very simple, people, okay? If there's any other ones, I'm glad to acknowledge them. All right? So, hopefully everybody is done with their shopping. If not, last minute gifts, you can get to that. We can get to that in a bit. But, yummy. But you can get to that in a little bit. But hopefully everybody is ready to finish up their holiday, get started on their holiday, or get either they just finished or they're upcoming their holiday. Today was an emotional day. Well, not today. Yesterday was an emotional day. This is being recorded on Thursday, almost Friday, early Friday morning. I Thursday evening I had to put my tree up for the first time by myself. My mother would normally do that, and I left it to her because she did it great, and I didn't want to fuck with that. But many of you well known, I lost my mother in March, so this is my very first Christmas without her. I'm doing the best I can for my son, and he hopefully will appreciate it when he comes home because he will be home around 1:30 tomorrow, and then that means not tomorrow, but today for Friday he'll be home about an hour after I launch this. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So there is for the next week a lot of it's going to be like repeats and reruns and pre-recorded and shit like that. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to see if it's feasible like that Wednesday night. Get it done, get it and launch it, and it's a freaking see if I can launch it on Thursday of next week if there's anything going on. But I hope everybody is enjoying the holidays, the festive season, because everybody's celebrating. Why are we saying holidays? Festive. We are celebrating. And I'm hoping that I will have something to celebrate this weekend with, I'm hoping, praying to God that my mother gave me some inspiration, and I'm hoping that she comes through for me and I have the biggest windfall of my life. So I just miss my mom a lot, especially around the holiday season. My son, he's coming home, and he's been a rock star throughout of this. And for a kid that really doesn't know what the heck is going on, he knows that I need him to be a rock star, and he's just an amazing young man now. Yes, I still cannot believe my son is going to be 18 in September. It is fucking crazy. It feels like just yesterday I brought my son home from the hospital with my mom and holding him and just being like amazed that holy shit, I actually have a kid. You know, I have something else. I have somebody else to worry about than just myself. And it's the most crazy thing. Speaking of kids, I'll give you a little update on my family. We just had an amazing addition to the family. His name is Jesse Klein, and he was born 8 pounds, 8 ounces, big baby. And it was, I believe, the 17th. And my cousin Kayla right now is being induced. And if she's not had the baby yet, in 15 more minutes, that my cousin's son, I know it's a boy, my cousin's son will be sharing it with his great aunts, and that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. There's not too many family members that I have in December, so this will be a good one. And I also found out today through my grandparents, because they're going on a cruise. Lucky them. They're going on a cruise for Christmas. They'll be away on Christmas. They'll be away for New Year's, and I'm glad that they're going, because none of us grandchildren can get down there on Christmas because we have our families of our own, and it's very expensive. And we are basically, now the great grandchildren are getting big too. They're starting their own lives, and it's just my grandparents having almost 10 grandchildren, and now almost, I believe, 10 great grandchildren. It's crazy on to see how much our family has grown, and it's growing by leaps and bounds. I mean, us grandkids are now in our parents' position now, and it's just crazy. So yeah, my cousin, also my other cousin. Oh my God, I forgot my other cousin. My other cousin Ariana is pregnant, and she's due in July. Holy shit! We have like 3 fucking goddamn new kids in less than a year in this family. It is nuts. But we're a big family, and when we get together, we party hard, and when we get together, we love even harder. So I feel the happiness coming back to me, and it's been a crazy year, and I've loved hard, I've cried hard, I've played hard, and I'm going to continue playing hard, because 2023 is got to be my year. It's got to be my year, because there's nothing that could get me lower than this. There's nothing. I am going through a crazy time in my life. Realizing my mortality and everything. So I'm trying to get healthier. I'm trying to get more active, more into my health, because I got to be around for my kid. So, but yeah, we're just growing by leaps and bounds, and I'm just so finally getting happy, and I'm so happy that my cousins are growing the family, and my grandparents should be proud of themselves because they've created all of this, and we're just going to try to make them proud. On to 2023. Speaking of 2023, I don't know what's going on for next week, so I just got to go through the motions. I'm hoping that, it's that I can maybe get this done early and get it up early, because I don't know. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going out for the night on New Year's Eve, and I don't want to be worried about this and worried about that. I want to be enjoying the rest of the year. So that is that. You'll hear from me. Follow my Twitter, and I've been blue check verified. Thank you, Elon Musk, and thank you for taking my $8 for this from now on. I am glad I have it, and I'm going to be very, very responsible with it. I'm not going to be like an idiot with these people who get banned. That's not going to be me. So you're not going to catch me slipping. So, all right, we're going to get you started. We're going to get you in and out of here. I am basically sitting here on almost a Friday morning, having a nice ice cold cocktail of cranberry vodka, and it tastes phenomenal. And it's cranberries, and it's festive, and it's the theme. We're gonna start off with SmackDown from last week. But before we do that, I gotta let you in on, hey, it's never too late to get gifts for your loved ones. Do yourself a favor, go to harrys.com and get all your shaving and toiletry essentials there. Especially if you know that you have a graduate, possibly graduating literally at the end of this month, because they people do graduate in college for December. They want to go, maybe go for a couple months traveling. Perfect gift. Get them Harry's. If you have a beard aficionado in your family, which my son now wants to be all of a sudden, I thought he was going to be a Harry's guy, but wants to be a Maestro guy. Either way, I got him covered. So go do yourself a favor and go check out Maestro Classics and get all your beard essentials and righteous merch. Also, please go check out Liquid Death at liquiddeath.com and murder your thirst. Seriously, get a couple cases. It's going to be great for the New Year's. You can use it as a mixer. You're good to go. Go get it done. Also, please go check out Death Wish Coffee at deathwishcoffee.com. They're still selling their tri-pack. They have the, I believe they have a small box of pumpkin, gingerbread, and blueberry vanilla. So go check it out. Also, please go check out HOG Wrestling at hogwrestling.net. And it was this past weekend. It was a fucking good event. Go check it out on Fight TV. Go pay for it. If you want, go pay the $4.99 a month. That was involved in my subscription. I probably wouldn't have ordered it, but I got it, and I was fucking happy. And they got more content coming onto the app. So go check them out. It's Fight TV, and go check out Revelation. It was really good. It was really good, and I was very impressed with it, the whole shebang. So go check it out at HOG Wrestling, and they're going to be back in February. So once I get all the information, I'm going to give it to you right here, right now, and we're off to the races. Please, if you're going to be in the Pennsylvania area, please go check out 2 fast up-and-coming professional wrestling companies in the independent professional wrestling companies in Pennsylvania. Outbreak Wrestling and Sanctuary Wrestling. And go check them out on all their social media. Speaking of social media, while you're here and you discovered my video, please like, subscribe, and share my videos. It's very simple. Please go check that out, and also go check everything out on my social media sites are Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, Mel'S Mat Chat. Please also go check me out on Snapchat and Facebook. Okay. SmackDown was set to feature a big Intercontinental Championship match as Gunther defends his title against the SmackDown World Cup winner Ricochet, as Ricochet looks to win back the title that Gunther took from him. It should be interesting to see how things play out on tonight's show. SmackDown opens up with Michael Cole saying it's Friday night, and you know what that means. Rest in peace, Brody Lee. Friday was his birthday, and that was fucking classy, and I loved every minute of it. WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Liv Morgan and Tegan Nox, and I love that she gets her first name back. We know who she is now. Versus Dakota Kai and Io Sky. Our opening tag team championship match begins with Nox hitting a big uppercut to Kai. Kai hits a forearm strike to the head and tags in Sky, who is immediately planted with a facebuster from Nox, and Morgan is then tagged in. Kai hits a kick to the back from the apron as the ref is distracted. Morgan pursues Kai outside and grabs a kendo stick, but Nox prevents Morgan from using it. In this distraction, allows Kai and Sky to take advantage. Morgan goes for a drop kick, but Sky and Kai roll out of the ring, where Nox hits them both with a flying crossbody. We come back from commercial break. The match continues with Kai hitting a double foot stomp to Nox and covering for a 2. Sky tags in and hits a drop kick. Sky dodges an enziguri, but Nox follows and hits a headbutt as Morgan and Kai are both tagged in. Morgan hits an enziguri and hits a missile drop kick from the middle rope. Sky causes a distraction and Kai hits a running back kick to the head. Sky tags in and covers for a 2. Morgan hits a code breaker and Nox tags in. And Nox hits a Shining Wizard and covers, but Kai causes the breakup at 2. Morgan hits a Sunset Flip power bomb to Kai from the top, from Kai from off the ring apron. Sky counters a Shining Wizard with an uppercut. Off the distraction, Bailey grabs Nox, but Nox reverses it to throw Bailey over the barricade. Nox is kicked in the head from a masked figure who security drag away with the identity being revealed as Michael Cole, genuinely livid on the call. Sky throws back in the ring and hits a moonsault and a cover for 3 winners, Dakota Kai and Io Sky, and they are still women's tag team champions. Having issues with where my drink goes. When we get back, we go to commercial break. We're back live with LA Knight in the ring. Knight says for the past few weeks he has been blindsided and abducted, yet he's still not getting Bray Wyatt to admit that it was him. Knight says Wyatt has done since coming back is dress like a clown and whine, and that he wants Wyatt to wear whatever costume he needs to put on so he can come out to the ring and get stomped out. The lights go out, foam flashlights fill the arena, and out comes Bray Wyatt. Wyatt says he's sick of LA Knight, sick of this entire game we keep playing. Wyatt says he understands why Knight doesn't believe him, but deep down they both know how this story ends. Wyatt says he's giving Knight one last chance to deliver his message. Knight starts to attack Wyatt as the crowd boos. A static noise plays on the Titantron, shows a video package centered around Uncle Howdy. Wyatt laughs in cover in the corner as Knight continues to stomp him. Fog fills the entrance ramp as Uncle Howdy walks out, with Wyatt still in the ring, there in the ring. Wyatt looks baffled as he rolls out of the ring with a look of terror on his face. Wyatt himself looks around in confusion and shows look implying he doesn't fully understand what is happening. That was pretty fucking freaky, to tell you the God's honest truth. We have the Intercontinental Champion, Gunther, versus Ricochet. Before our Intercontinental Championship match begins, Adam Pearce ejects Vinci and Kaiser and sends them to the back immediately. The match officially begins with Ricochet dodging a lariat. Ricochet goes for a takedown, but Gunther uses a weight advantage to counter with a takedown of his own. Gunther hits a hip toss and then a knee drop to the arm of Ricochet. Ricochet dodges a chop and hits a side headlock takedown. Ricochet goes for a springboard moonsault, but Gunther pushes him off the ropes. Ricochet goes for a springboard dive, but is met with a big boot. Gunther follows outside the ring and slams Ricochet off the barricade. We come back. The match continues live with Gunther hitting a big chop to Ricochet. Gunther locks in a Boston Crab. Ricochet breaks free and hits a kick to the chest. Gunther catches Ricochet and plants him with a backbreaker and then locks in the Boston Crab again. Gunther transitions to a crossface, but Ricochet reaches the bottom row, forcing the break. Gunther knocks Ricochet to the mat with a hard chop and then locks in a chokehold on the mat. Ricochet lifts Gunther up with a fireman's carry, but Gunther breaks free and hits a forearm to Ricochet's lower back. Gunther hits multiple chops in the corner. Ricochet dodges a chop and hits a kick to the back of Gunther's head, and then a drop kick. Ricochet goes for a suplex, but Gunther blocks and hits a facebuster and follows with a drop kick. Gunther rolls outside and Ricochet hits a drop kick from the apron. Ricochet hits a springboard moonsault to the outside. We come back from the commercial break. Ricochet hitting a dive over the top rope to Gunther. Back in the ring, Gunther traps Ricochet on the top rope, and Gunther climbs up and goes for a German suplex, but Ricochet flips out to land on his feet. Gunther hits a lariat and covers for a 2. Gunther goes up to the top, goes for a splash, but Ricochet counters by bringing up his feet. Ricochet hits a vertical suplex to a huge pop and covers for a 2. Ricochet goes up top and hits a shooting star press and covers, but Gunther kicks out at 2. Ricochet hits series of punches and kicks and goes for a drop kick, but Gunther hits a chop to Ricochet in midair, and Gunther hits a powerbomb and covers for, but Ricochet kicks out at 2. Gunther hits another chop and follows with a last symphony and covers for the 3 count. Gunther wins. That match was holy shit. I had legitimate shivers up and down my spine. I felt like I was in a takeover. I was legitimately on my edge of my bed, and I was like, this is what I remember. It gave me warm feelings in my cockles of my soul, and it was amazing. These matches, we need more of. Please, times 1,000. After the bell, Vinci and Kaiser come running out, and then Braun Strowman comes out to make the save and causes all Imperium to flee to the back as Strowman helps Ricochet to his feet. We come back from commercial break, back live with Adam Pearce backstage with Roman Reigns, with Heyman and Solo Sikoa. Heyman proposes a match to Adam Pearce, and it becomes official. Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens and a partner of his choosing for SmackDown on December 30th. Remember, who has been announced to make the appearance on that specific show? I wonder why. Or I wonder who. I wonder who. I know, I just dated myself. Yes, I listened to the oldies when I was a kid, and I loved every minute of it. I loved the silver platters. I loved the Gladys Knight, the Pips, all them. I was all up in that. Yes, I just showed my geek, and I don't give a shit. The 50s and the 60s music, that was the jam back then, and I loved every minute of it. But of course, I still, listen to the music of today, and in my case, yesteryear, in the 80s and the 90s, and can't get anything like it. I loved the Platters. I loved, who else? Who just died? I can't. Chubby Checker, who, good golly, Miss Molly. I used to listen to all that shit. My fucking grandparents got me into it. My dad got me into it, and then of course my dad did a good thing. He got me into Pink Floyd and the Doors and whatnot. Yes, I'm showing my fucking age, so sue me. And now I'm into Alter Bridge and Metallica and Disturbed. I mean, this goes from me listening to Britney Spears and Christine Aguilera and the Backstreet Boys to fucking the exact complete opposite. Dear Lord, how I got into that. Holy shit. You're never going to know what I'm going to be talking about here on Mel's Mat Chat. Absolutely. You have no clue what I could just spitfire out here. We move on with Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro versus Hit Row versus the Viking Raiders. The match begins with Wilde, Ashanti, and Ivar as we've changed the rules for a triple threat tag team match, I guess. Ashanti hits a dropkick to send Ivar over the top. Eric runs to knock out Ashanti out of the ring. Del Toro and Wolf hit a double missile dropkick to take out Ivar. And I like this version of a triple threat. There should be 3 fucking guys in it, not two, all right? How ridiculous is that? Or should I say redonkulous? The match continue. We come back. The match continues live with Ashante hitting Eric with a super kick and tagging in Top Dollar, who hits a big boot to Wild. Top Dollar catches Ivar and lifts him up, but is hit with a running knee from Eric. Wild hits a flying crossbody to Eric and Top Dollar. Jesus Christ, that was my mother's keys. Holy shit, and I'm leaving it in there. I got scared for a minute. I just put my mother's keys. These are my mother's fucking keys. I just put them in a dish here, and they fell. Oh my God. Ma! Merry Christmas! Oh my God, that scared the shit out of me. Oh, when I'm leaving it in. Oh, Maron. Where the hell I was. Top Dollar catches Ivar and lifts him up, but is hit with a running knee from Eric. Wild hits a flying crossbody to Eric and Top Dollar and then plants Eric with a tornado DDT. Del Toro tags in and hits Top Dollar with a mud-style dropkick. Del Toro hits a 450 splash and a cover. Top Dollar for a 2 count. Ashanti hits Del Toro with a DDT, and Top Dollar hits Ivar with a big boot. Top Dollar goes for a dive outside, but gets his foot caught on the top rope, which was brutal to watch. Zelina Vega hits Ashanti with a Hurricane Rana, and eventually B-Fab and Valhalla both join in the brawl on the outside. Hit Row hit the heavy hitter, and Ashanti covers Wild for a 3. Winners Hit Row, and they're going to be taking on the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, the Usos, tonight. Oh, that tastes good. I make good drinks. Quick story, when I was young, my grandparents always had fucking parties every fucking weekend. We used to have bars, tubs of ice cold beer and everything. So my uncle taught me how to make drinks when I was like 8 or 9 years old. And I'm going to tell you, I never tasted a damn bit of it. Okay? Scout's honor. Okay? Scout's honor. So I was able to make like screwdrivers and gin and tonics and basic stuff. But as I've gotten older, I've been experimenting. Plus, with me dealing with my mother's death, I've been nipping at the alcohol. I've been indulging in a beverage or two. So I can make a great drink. No over heavy pour, just enough to, that the fucking alcohol is there. It's delicious. Again, another thing I just popped out of my head. I needed to vent on the show here. All right, we come back from a commercial. SmackDown returns with Roman Reigns making his way out to the ring with the rest of the bloodline, including a very excited Sami Zayn by his side. Reigns says that the bloodline dominated War Games, and tonight is the right night that tonight was going to be a very good night for you, Sami Zayn. Reigns says we have a Kevin Owens problem, and since he's a problem for Zayn, he's a problem for all of them. Reigns says Zayn, the two men are teaming up to take on Owens and a partner of his choice, and together they will smash Owens and never see him again. Zayn agrees and says Owens has betrayed everyone and that he's the only friend. He's his only friend. And Zayn tries to backtrack and say he meant that he used to be, but isn't now, before this is even acknowledged. So John Cena appears. Gee, I wonder why. Can we delve, get into why he's on there? John Cena appears on the Titantron. Cena reveals that he got a text from none other than Kevin Owens. The shock and awe of the whole situation. Cena referenced that he's not had wrestled a match in 2022. And John Cena announced himself as Kevin Owens' partner for the match. And that didn't sit well with Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn. It's going to be a good match next week, and I'm all for it. I can't wait to watch it. I'm going to sit with a nice ice cold beverage, and I am going to sit and relax, and I'm going to enjoy the last Friday of 2022, and we're on to bigger and better things. Monday Night Raw. Which was for chef's kiss. We need this shit every Monday night. We also need it on Friday night. And if you have anything left over, schlep it to NXT, because I'm not giving you batches or anything. I am not Santa Claus. I missed something in my fucking sack. You're just gonna have to fucking deal with it. Tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw Monday Night Raw promises an exciting night of action. We will find out what happens to Bobby Lashley after he got fired last week. We also get to see the winner take all ladder match between The Miz and Dexter Lumis. The match card as follows: Street Profits versus the Judgment Day. Bayley versus Becky Lynch. Winner take all ladder match: Dexter Lumis versus The Miz. We open Monday Night Raw with Paul Heyman is backstage and he welcomes the crowd to Monday Night Raw. He introduces himself. Roman is shown sitting in his chair, and he starts by saying that Raw, the home that Kevin Owens tries to leave and crashes the gates of SmackDown. You wouldn't have to go to SmackDown if you were on Monday Night Raw, where you should be, because you got both of the fucking titles, for the love of Pete. Does anybody not realize that? He needs to be in both fucking shows. He just doesn't need to be on SmackDown all the time. Oh, why doesn't anybody notice this? I do. And this is what keeps me up at night. He says Kevin needs the entire Raw locker room to have his back because he has interfered in Reigns' business. And now he's going to showcase the juice he has and will make Owens' life a living hell until everybody acknowledges the bloodline. The Usos are backstage and they're wrecking havoc a la NWO style. They attack Ali and lay him out. They say more work has to be done as they leave. We start the show and we go into the Street Profits versus the Judgment Day. I'm going to make it points and clear on this show. When Sami Zayn gets either turns on the bloodline or gets turned by Roman Reigns in the bloodline, then I am going to personally come on here, make a short or make a quick little video, and I'm going to acknowledge him. And I am going to make very well known that he is my tribal chief, because this is what I want to see from Roman Reigns. I want to see the vicious, the sadistic, the fucking goddamn dick prick that we know that he was doing in FCW back in the day. We need to see that. That's my tribal chief. That's my head of the table. Like I'm the head of the table in my family, I will acknowledge him. Everybody's got to acknowledge me as the head of the table in my family. I am now the matriarch of my own family now. 40 fucking years old, I'm a matriarch. Who would have thunk it? I thought I'd get that fucking goddamn title at 60. Believe me. Again, here we go again. It's the liquor that's making me loosen the lips here. So we go to the Street Profits versus the Judgment Day. The Street Profits, they all go to the ring. Jesus Christ. Ford and Priest start the match off. Priest with a knee to Ford. He goes for the big boot, but Ford escapes and strikes Priest and hits the drop kick. He hits the rope, but Priest with a vicious blow before sending him into his cover and tagging in Finn Balor. The Bloodline are shown attacking Andre Chase in the back. In the ring, we have Dawkins knocks down Finn and tags out. Ford attacks Finn and tags out. Dawkins does the same thing. Finn fights back and tags in Priest, who attacks both members of the Street Profits and hits a super kick on Dawkins. He sends Ford to the outside. We come back from commercial break. Finn Balor with a chin lock on Ford. Ford fights back with a DDT and tags out to Dawkins. Attacks Balor. He knocks him down with an elbow before hitting the spinebuster on Priest. He sends Priest outside and tags out, but Priest hits the South of Heaven and a foot and Ford with a frog splash. Finn rolls him up but doesn't get the pinfall. It's a Gary from Ford, and Dominic distracts him, allowing Finn to hit the sling blade. He then hits the drop kick. Tozawa splashes Dominic's face, and Ford rolls up Balor for the win. Winner, Street Profits. Mommy's not happy that Dom got splashed in the face, and she's certainly not happy that fucking Balor and Priest lost that match. But we always have a flip side, don't we, people? Don't we? Come on. Rhea Ripley goes after Akira and calls him a piece of trash and punches him before challenging him to a match. She fucking decked him, and I loved every fucking minute of it. So we actually have a fucking intergender match in 2022. The things I love to see. Street Profits encourage Akira to the ring. He gets in the ring and Rhea picks him up, but Akira escapes and tries to hit her, but he can't. Rhea hits the big boot, covers 1-2 kick out. She sends Akira into the corner and stomps him. She attacks Akira Tozawa. She hits the suplex, cover 1-2 kick out. She goes to work on Akira Tozawa. Ripley goes for a powerbomb, but Tozawa counters with a Hurricane Rana, sends him and her out of the ring. He hits the ropes and Finn trips him. The Street Profits then dive onto them. Ripley goes for Riptide, but Akira escapes and sends her into the post and kicks Dominic. He then climbs to the top rope and goes for a senton and misses as Ripley hits the Riptide for the win. Winner, Rhea Ripley. Just a little, how can I say, a little caveat to this. I love how she pins. I love how she folds them up, and her pelvis gets right into where it needs to be. I'm wondering, does she do that with Dominic in the hotel room? We need to ask Buddy Matthews on that one. Let's get the dirt on that, you know? Pierce is backstage talking to Paul and asks him to call him back. He says what happened between him and Bobby is between them. He interrupted by MVP, who asks him for a word. A referee interrupts and asks him to come to the loading docks, and Pierce runs behind him. Uh-oh, has the Bloodline attacked again? We shall see. The OC versus Alpha Academy. Happy birthday. Yesterday was Luke Gallows' birthday, and they're going to be, both of them are going to be at Wrestle Kingdom 17 on the 4th. Mr. Tamatanga wants a little AJ Styles. If that happens, don't go on Twitter. Okay? Don't go on Twitter. We have the OC. They go to the ring. The whole giddy up. Backstage, we have Dolph in pain, and he says it was the bloodline that did this. The Alpha Academy music plays, and they come out to the ring. Anderson and Gable start the match. Gable takes down Anderson. Anderson with a side headlock. He knocks down Gable and performs a hip toss. Anderson goes to work on Gable. Anderson tags in Gallows and they both knock him down. Gallows, which strikes to Gable in the corner. Gallows tags in Gable, but he pushes Anderson into his corner and Anderson with an arm drag. Gallows tags in and continues to attack Gable. Otis tags in and he attacks Gallows in the corner. Gallows with a shoulder tackle sending him on the outside. He also sends Gable to the outside. We come back from commercial. Gable works the leg of Anderson. Gable goes for the ankle, but Anderson escapes and tags out. Gallows takes out Alpha Academy. Otis tags in and takes out Gallows. He then attacks Gallows in the corner and tags out, and he executes the power slam. Otis goes to attack Anderson, but is sent into the post. Gable climbs to the top rope and goes for a moonsault, but misses and lands on his feet. Allowing super kicks from him and tags out, and they hit the match killer for the win. The OC wins. So this is great. Anderson has momentum going into Wrestle Kingdom, so hopefully maybe he retains. We have more workings with New Japan. Things just seems rosy, rosy, rosy. The Bloodline gets jumped. The Bloodline jumps the OC from behind and viciously attacks everyone. They hit the 1D on Gallows. WWE officials come out to stop them. The Bloodline is in the ring, and Jimmy tells Pierce that when it comes to the Bloodline, they run the business. Sammy asks what Pierce's problem is, and he says the crowd have no problem with what they're doing. He says they love to hear Sammy Uso. He says they're going to deliver their message just like Kevin Owens and John Cena. He says that tonight is a small example of what will happen to Cena and Owens. And he says they are done for the night. They proceed to leave as the crowd chants Usi. AJ Styles attacks Sammy out of nowhere, and they both brawl as WWE officials restrict them. So we go to a commercial. Coming back, Styles is yelling at Pierce. He asks for a match against Sami Zayn, which Pierce agrees to. Alexa and Bianca are interviewed backstage. Bianca wants to know what happened last week because she doesn't trust her. Alexa says that Bray Wyatt abducted her and turned her into a dark version of herself and left her alone. She says that she went to therapy, which turned her into a shell of a human being, and she has nothing to lose, meaning she has everything to gain, starting with the Raw Women's Championship. Belair doesn't believe her, and she says she knows what Wyatt is capable of. Alexa says this is about her, and she is winning championships before Belair walked through the door, and she can do it again. She then smashes a glass over Bianca Belair's head as she walks away. Winner take all ladder match. Dexter Lumis versus The Miz for the money. Dexter Lumis, who's in his corner, Johnny Gargano. So we start off, the bell rings, and Miz rolls out, and Lumis goes after him and attacks Miz. He then sends Miz into the ring and takes a ladder, but Miz with a baseball drop kick. Loomis attacks Miz with the ladder and sends the ladder into the ring. He attacks Miz with the ladder into the corner. Loomis with a right hand to Miz. He ascends Miz into the ladder. He continues to attack Miz in the corner. He sets Miz on the top rope and hits the superplex. Sorry. Loomis drop kicks the ladder into Miz's crotch area. He goes to the outside and brings another ladder. He sets it up in the ring. He climbs up the ladder but is stopped. The Miz tries to grab the cash, but Loomis attacks him and both men try to grab it. Miz with punches but is caught and they both fall down. We come back from commercial break. The Miz tries to grab the cash but is stopped by Loomis. Miz tries to grab it again but is stopped. And Loomis keeps punching him until he falls off. He tries to grab the cash but Miz pushes the ladder down. The Miz then tries to grab the cash. Loomis pulls him down and tries to use the vice grip, but the Miz hits the neck breaker on the apron. Miz attacks Loomis with a ladder. He sees Loomis between the ladder and attacks him. He throws a bunch of chairs onto Loomis. He pretends to get the table and keeps it back in the ring. He shoves Gargano and attacks him. He sends Gargano into the barricade and attacks him with a ladder, sending him over the barricade. Loomis slams Miz on the ladder. He places Miz on the announce desk. He then climbs the ladder and goes for the leg drop, but Miz escapes in time. Miz goes back inside the ring, sets up a ladder. He then climbs the ladder, but Loomis stops him and shoves him off the ladder. Bronson Reed comes and pulls him off the ladder and ambushes him, then climbs the rope and hits a splash on Loomis. He then sets up a ladder in the ring and drags Miz inside and helps him up for the ladder. Sets the ladder and grabs the cash for the win. So Bronson Reed back in the fold. I am so glad that these people are getting a second crack at WWE because they weren't even given a first crack at WWE. AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn. Styles attacks Zayn in the corner when we get back from commercial. He then hits a backbreaker. Styles with a gut wrench. He goes for a Styles clutch but escapes the ring. Styles dives onto him and sends him back into the ring. Zayn hangs up Styles on the rope. He climbs the second turnbuckle and hits an elbow. Cover 1-2 kick out. He goes to work on Styles. Styles with a backbreaker. The vicious strikes. He then hits a forearm. He picks up Sami and hits the neck breaker. Styles with a sliding knee followed by a moonsault DDT on the outside. He sends Zayn back in the ring. He goes for the phenomenal forearm but is stopped by Sami and falls to the outside of the ring. We come back from commercial. Styles slams Sami to the mat. Cover 1-2 kick out. Styles goes for the Styles clash but is stopped. Sami hits a brainbuster. Cover 1-2 kick out. Sami attacks AJ Styles. Styles fights back and hits a Pele kick. Styles with a springboard dive, but Zayn hits an exploder in the corner. He goes for a haluva kick, but Styles counters into the calf crusher and Sami gets to the rope. Solo Sikoa comes out to the crowd and distracts Sami, who rolls up Styles but doesn't get the pinfall. Styles goes to attack Solo. Zayn attacks him from behind, but Styles sends Zayn into the ring. Solo hits Samoa Spike before sending him into the ring. Zayn hits a blue thunderbomb for the win. Sami Zayn picks up the win And it makes Roman Reigns a very happy, happy tribal chief. Adam Pearce doesn't look happy. Seth Rollins is showing prancing his way to the ring. We come back from commercial. Seth Rollins heads out to the ring. Seth welcomes the crowd to Monday Night Rollins. He says he's back and better than ever. He says the bloodline is in the house and they have been jumping everybody except for him. He says he has a message for the tribal chief and says Mondays don't belong to Roman. They belong to Seth Rollins. Austin Theory's music song comes out to the ring. He starts by saying nothing belongs to Seth. He says that the U.S. title was the title of Raw, so that the champ is here. Another little, the champ is here. Who else says that? He then says whether Seth likes it or not, Austin Theory's era is forever, and this is just the beginning. And Seth is going to pass the torch to him, and if he doesn't, Theory will take it. Seth wishes him a Merry Christmas. Theory says that only reason Seth isn't standing is because Lashley took his frustrations out on the referee and called Seth lucky. Rollins asks why Austin is always angry. He says Theory has grown up and he is the U.S. champion. He then says that there is one thing that means more than the title, and he will never have it as long as Seth is here. And he will never be like Seth. He then says Austin isn't on his level. Austin says he sees right through him because he gave him the ball and he fumbled it. He says that Seth has seen the mountaintop, but that is just the peak. And when he falls off that peak, he comes to the realization that he is the third most memorable member of the Shield. Roman Reigns, then Jon Moxley, aka Dean Ambrose. For the people who don't know who I'm talking about. Seth says the mountaintop, he is the mountaintop, and he is Everest. He says the man makes the title, and says, he says, the man that makes the title, the title makes the man, but the man makes the title. The title, and says, let's find out what kind of many Austin is right here. The Usos are in the crowd and they circle the ring. Theory takes his title and runs out of the ring. He tries to fight back. The Usos, but the number game gets too much. Kevin Owens' music plays and he attacks Jimmy Uso and then attacks Jey Uso. Rollins joins in and they both send the Usos out of the ring. WWE officials come out to take the Usos out of the ring. Kevin says the crowd wants to see them fight. He challenges them to a match. Pearce makes it official. Becky Lynch backstage, and she says Bayley and her have been playing a cat and mouse game. She says they were underappreciated, but the difference is she did everything by herself. She says she didn't have the decency to take her out herself, and says she will die on her own sword. Bayley versus Becky Lynch. The match starts with Bayley knocks down Lynch. Bayley with a kick. Lynch slaps Bayley Becky with an arm drag. Io goes to slap her, but is caught, and the distraction allows Bailey to get an advantage. Lynch fights back with a clothesline. She then kicks her head, sending her to the outside, and dives onto her. He sends Bailey into the ring, but she rolls to the apron and sends Becky to the second turnbuckle. We come back from commercial break. Bailey hits a suplex cover 1-2 kick out. Becky fights back with a drop kick. Both women exchange strikes in the ring, and Becky gains the advantage. She hits the Bexploder on Bailey and sends her into the corner. She then hits a leg drop, cover 1-2 kick out. Lynch attacks Bailey in the corner. Bailey with a back suplex, cover 1-2 kick out. Bailey with a clothesline to the back of her neck. Becky with a reverse DDT, cover 1-2 kick out. She sends Bailey to the apron. She goes for a long drop, but Bailey evades and tries to attack her. She hits the Bailey to belly, cover 1-2 kick out. Becky slaps her, but Bailey goes for the roast plant, but Lynch counters and plants her. She climbs to the top rope, is stopped by Bailey. Becky hits a diamond dust, cover 1-2 kick out. Bailey tries to cover using her feet on the top on the ropes. The referee sees it. Lynch goes for a manhandle slam, but Damage Control stops her. Lynch attacks Bailey, and the referee ejects Io and Dakota Sky. Io Sky and Dakota Kai. The distraction allows Bailey to attack Becky with a monitor and hit the roast plant for the win. Bailey picks up the win. The Usos are getting ready for their match. We come back from commercial. Seth is showing backstage getting ready, and he is joined by Kevin. Seth says it's been a long time, and he asks why they stopped teaming together. Owen says he tried to steal Owen's WrestleMania spot, but Rollins denies it. You know, with all the fucking matches we had with these two, now they're on the same page. This is what I am talking about. We need more of these tag teams. Just spur them on. I love it. I love it. But not all the time. But these two work so well together. It's like if you take out Owens, you could put in a Rollins. Or if you could take out Rollins, you could put a Sami Zayn there, interchangeable. So that makes things really, really good. So we have the Usos versus Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. Owens and Rollins attack the Usos. Rollins attacks Jey Uso in the corner. Rollins attacks Jey with an elbow and tags in Owens, who continue to attack Jey. Jimmy attacks him from behind. We go to commercial. We come back. Jimmy attacks Owens in the corner. He goes for a splash but misses, and he hits the DDT, and both men tag out. Rollins with clotheslines and sling blade to Jey. He then hits an elbow followed by a backbreaker. Rollins goes for the stomp, but Jey escapes and tags in Jimmy, who gets super kicked. Rollins then dives onto the Usos. He tags in Owens, who hits the frog splash on Jimmy. Cover 1-2 kick out. He then climbs another turnbuckle and attempts the senton, but Jimmy gets his knees up. Solo Sikoa at ringside, but he is attacked by Gallows and Anderson, and Jey dives onto them. Rollins then dives onto Sikoa, and Rollins hits the stomp on Jey. Jimmy sets Owens on top, but is stopped. Austin Theory attacks Rollins with the United States Championship from behind. Jimmy drops to the mat, but hits the super kick on Owens. Cover 1-2 kick out. Jimmy climbs to the top rope. It goes for a splash, but misses, and Owens hits the super kick and this pop-up power bomb for the win. Winner, Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens. After the match, Sami comes from behind to attack Owens, but stops when Owens turns, Sammy gets out of the ring and leaves, and then you see this freaking grin. It's happening, people. It's happening. WrestleMania. Owens and Zayn, new tag team champions. Book it, Paul. Book it. That is the end of WWE. We're going to go right into AEW, and then I'm going to get you out of here and to enjoy Christmas weekend. That just completely went over. My tablet is as slow as molasses today. It was still in Texas. We have John Moxley versus the Spanish God, Sammy Guevara. Sammy went right after Mox with a leaping knee strike, trying for an early advantage. Mox ducked a chop from Sammy and fired back with his own chops. Daniel Garcia was watching on the monitor backstage. Sammy snuck a leaping knee strike on Moxley outside the ring. Mox dropped Sammy on the steel barricade, splitting the uprights. Moxley clocked Sammy with a cutter. Moxley suplexed Sammy, bringing him down onto the mat. Moxley kicked Sammy in the ribs. Sammy used a corkscrew dropkick on Moxley. Sammy and Moxley battled it out on the top turnbuckle. Guevara hit a double stomp on Moxley in the ring. Double stomp on Moxley on the ring apron. Moxley's ear was busted wide open. Sammy was like a shark smelling blood in the water and immediately went to work on Moxley's ear. Tay Mello yanked on Moxley's ear. Tay and Sammy kissed outside the ring until Moxley jumped through the ropes with a tope suicida onto Sammy. Moxley charged at Sammy with a lariat into the corner. He battered Sammy with right hands. Sammy jumped off the turnbuckles and got a near fall on Mox after a cutter. Sammy was looking for the GTH, but Mox escaped. Mox escaped. Sammy rallied back with the walls of Jericho on Moxley. John Moxley willed his way out by kicking up at Sammy. What a way to start off Rampage, said Jim Ross. Sammy smashed Moxley with forearms. Moxley fired back with a forearm and a curb stomp to Sammy for a 2 count. And that's a way of probably saying Merry Christmas, Becky and Seth. Outside the ring, Sammy connected with another leaping knee strike. Sammy climbed to the top rope and drove himself through Moxley, crashing through the timekeeper's table. Sammy used a crossbody off the top rope, but Moxley rolled through. Moxley spiked Sammy with a pile driver. Moxley turned Sammy inside out with a King Kong lariat. Sammy escaped the paradigm shift and dropped Moxley with a Death Rider DDT. Sammy followed up with a senton on Timonico for a near fall on Mox. Mox just rose from the dead on that one, said Tony Schiavone. Sammy grabbed a Spanish fly on Moxley. Moxley floated over with the bulldog choke and put Sammy to sleep. The ref stopped the match and declared Mox the winner. Bravo to both men. That was a hell of a wrestling match, said Jim Ross. Moxley told you where I would be on Friday nights, and I'm right here. So, Cowboy, where are you? I'm waiting all night. And he's referencing to Hangman Adam Page. Hangman Adam Page charged to the ring and began to brawl with Jon Moxley. Hangman went for the buckshot lariat, but Mox moved and Hangman hit a security guard with the move. A team of AEW security had to separate both men. I moving on. Speaking, we're going to be doing definitely Wrestle Kingdom. I'm going to do the preview and predictions on that Wednesday. That Wednesday at some point. No, it's going to be happening on the 4th, early my time. Hold on. I will be doing it on Tuesday, the preview and predictions, but I'm going to launch it around like 6, 7 o'clock so you have it. It's not going to be really quick, so I don't know what to really tell you. I may consider doing just a whole. I don't know what exactly I'm doing, but I'm going to be covering it. So best be that I do that. IWGP and AAA Tag Team Champions, FTR, were in the ring to make a statement. Cash, we feel like we let all of you down. We hate that. It kills us because all of you have lifted us up. Thanks to you, you have made this the best year of our careers, and we owe you eternally for that. So this year has been a legacy year for us, and we hope it is a legacy that we can be proud of. But there's been a couple of kids with daddy issues trying to get our attention. Austin and Colton, you say you're going to kill our legacies? It's not going to be a couple of dumbass boys. Dax, Saturday night I brought my family with me. My daughters said, Daddy, those kind of people like you, why? And I thought, yeah, why? Since I've been 8 years old, this is all I've wanted to do. Saturday night at Final Battle, that was our opportunity to make you feel. And Austin and Colton, you ruined that. This Wednesday on Dynamite, we're going to do what Daddy ass should have done a long time ago. We're going to whip your ass. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, versus Sky Blue. Britt had head scissors on Sky. Britt suplexed Sky Blue. Sky stopped Britt's momentum with a thrust kick. Britt Baker hits a sling blade on Sky Blue. Britt puts her glove on, and Sky came up from behind and rocked Britt with a thrust kick. Britt fired back with a stomp to the back of Sky Blue and then pinned her. After the match, Britt put the lockjaw on Sky Blue. Sheeta ran down to the ring with a kendo stick. She blasted Britt with it and then had a stare down with Jamie Hayter ahead of their match this Wednesday on Dynamite. Jim Ross had a sit down with Preston Vance. Vance, the Dark Order are on the same level as me. And if I have one message for that little Brody, it's, hey kid, it's time to grow up. Which I don't like that. You know, I may be older than him, and I may be having to deal with loss of a parent in a different way, but I know what it's like to lose a parent. That kid lost his father the pain that he's has gone through for the past 2 or 3 years, that since his father has passed away, is unsurmountable. They really shouldn't have brought him into it. They should have brought somebody else into it, and that was poor choices with Preston Vance. No kid should be fucking brought in. But then again, he signed a contract. So when he turns 18, he's going to be an AEW employee. His mother is, but still, I didn't like that. Wardlow versus Exodus Prime. Prime headbutted Wardlow, and Wardlow shrugged it off. Wardlow cracked Prime in the head with his own headbutt. He reached back and nearly decapitated Prime with a clothesline. Wardlow tuned up the symphony of power bombs. Exodus Prime over and over and over, and then scored the victory. Wardlow, Joe, I said I can't wait my turn. I say we've waited too damn long. I'm not waiting another second. Bring your ass out here so I can whip your ass all over Dallas. TNT champion Samoa Joe appeared on the screen from backstage. Samoa Joe, I'm not going to be a gracious king, but come December 28th in Colorado, I'm going to give you everything the king has spoken. Something tells me he's challenging his inner king of kings. Samoa Joe will always be a Triple H guy. Anybody that has worked with Triple H will always be a Triple H guy. So, please. Main event time. Kip Sabian, the Butcher and the Blade, and Trent Seven versus Orange Cassidy, Chuck Taylor, Trent Beretta, and Dustin Rhodes. Trent Seven and Trent Beretta, had a battle of the Trents in the center of the ring, trading elbow strikes in the center of the ring. Seven blocked a thrust kick from Beretta. Things quickly broke down with both teams brawling in the center of the ring and then spilling to the outside. Sabian connected with a stiff right hand to Orange Cassidy. Butcher and the Blade double-teamed Trent in the ring. Dustin tagged in and took down Trent Seven. He powerbombed the Butcher, the Blade, and Kip Sabian. Then Dustin jabbed at Seven and dropped an elbow on him. Butcher and the Blade hit a drag the leg on Orange Cassidy, and then Trent blasted him with a shotgun dropkick. The Bunny jumped onto the ring, and Orange Cassidy pretended he got struck by her. Penelope Ford jumped onto the ring, and then Danhausen acted like he was hit by Penelope. Bryce Remsburg had no choice to eject them from ringside. Dustin drilled Kip with a Dallas Destroyer. Dustin followed up with a unnatural kick. Dustin took down Trent Seven with a Bulldog and then pinned him. And that was that. Too many tabs open in my fucking tablet. I just realized it. AEW Dynamite. We're coming from the Freeman Coliseum in San Antonio, Texas. Absolute Ricky Starks comes out to the ring. Starks, it would be really nice to be standing here as your new AEW World Champion, but that's not how things turn out because I lost. That's on me. At least I lost like a man while Mox won like a coward. If I was this close to beating you, MJF, just imagine what happens next time. Because guess what? There will be a next time. You and me, it doesn't mean this is the end of the road. Look at me. This is just the start. And if it means I got to work my way back to a title shot, line them up so I can strike them down. Roman Reigns said that. Like, line them up and I'll throw them over. Just saying, Mr. Starks. Just saying, just watch what you gotta watch, because it's been said before. So then Chris Jericho and Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara walked onto the stage with Jericho theme song interrupting Ricky Starks. Jericho, Ricky, 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 I've been watching you for a long time. Ricky Starks, a long time. I saw you last week. You're right. You did come this close to winning the world championship. You're not a dollar store version of anybody. You're $1 million talent. And I guarantee you will be world champion someday. But not just yet. I don't want you to be a flash in the pan. Ricky Starks, and after talking things over with Sammy and Danny, we think you have everything it takes to be a star in AEW. All you need is a little influence, a little advice, a little Chris Jericho. We talked it over, and Ricky Starks, we want you to join the Jericho Appreciation Society. Starks, you know what I like about you, Chris? You know how to stay relevant. You're lean, mean, and shredded. Well, the offer is very tempting to join your little boy band. I'm going to say, hell no. I don't want to join the JAS. You think I want to be a part of that? No, no, no. Just last week, you lost to Action, and your stock is kind of dropped. The J in JAS should stand for jobbers. Those two jassholes with you have not done anything. I have a question. Danny, what has Chris done for you since you joined? You lost your title, and Sammy, I could care less about you. But you're not going to suck the life out of me because I'm not going to let it happen. How about January 4th? New city, new AEW. It is you. Jericho taking on me. Absolute Ricky Starks. Jericho, wow. That was that was ever the wrong answer. Ricky, get him, boys. Jake Hager ambushed Ricky from behind, and then Sammy and Garcia jumped into the ring and began to kick Starks. Action Andretti came out to the ring and clean house on the JAS. The best of 7 series. Match 5. Death Triangle. Pac, Penta El Zito Mieno, and Ray Phoenix versus the Elite, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, Nick and Matt Jackson. It is win or go home for the Elite here tonight, said Excalibur. Death Triangle blasted the Elite and with thrust kicks, and then took flight and took out the Elite on the arena floor. Don Callis joined the commentary team. Is there any way in 2023 can we get him off and get him back to Impact and leave him behind? He's a fucking nuisance. He doesn't bring anything to the fucking table. He gets paid by Tony Khan to do what? Sit on his ass? Fucking eat fucking Kenny Omega's asshole? I mean, come on. From what I've heard and what I know, I think Kota Ibushi could do a better job than Don Callis. Penta El Zito Mieno cracked a trash can over Kenny's head. He followed up by a drop kicking a can against Kenny's groin area. I don't think Kota is going to be too thrilled with that one. Death Triangle nails Matt Jackson with a triple drop kicks. I'm going to hell. Come with me, people. Come with me. Penta El Zeno Miedo struck Nick Jackson with the sling blade clothesline outside the ring. Pac and Ray Phoenix set up tables on the arena floor. Penta El Zeno Miedo popped up an artificial Christmas tree in the ring, and Nat and Kenny were hit with the artificial pine needles. Pac began to dissect Nick's tweaked right ankle. Matt wiped out the Lucha Brothers outside the ring by doing a breathtaking moonsault off the turnbuckles. Kenny took a trash can and used it as he moonsaulted back inside the ring for a near fall. Kenny Omega pulled out a barbed wire broom from beneath the ring. He grabbed Phoenix and smashed him face first into the broom. Matt dropped an elbow through the Penta on the table. Nick used his senton onto Pac through the table. The fans chanted, "This is awesome, this is awesome, this is awesome." The Bucks lifted up Ray Phoenix for a BTE trigger, but Alex Abrahantes interrupted it by grabbing Kenny's ankle. Kenny managed to rock Ray Phoenix with the V trigger. Ray took down Kenny with a Hurricane Rana for a near fall. Ray Phoenix pulled out a hammer and cracked Kenny in the forehead with it for a near fall. Pac locked in the brutalizer. Ray Phoenix captured Nick's ankle in submission. Matt Jackson jumped in the ring and stomped his opponents, forcing them to release their submission on the Elite members. Kenny set Ray Phoenix down hard to the mat with a snapdragon suplex out of nowhere. Matt pinned Ray Phoenix after Nick Jackson did a Meltzer driver on Phoenix, who crashed down on the steel chair. The Elite really needed that to survive and continue in the series, says Taz. After the match, Death Triangle attacked the Elite. Nick was busted wide open by a hammer shot. This story isn't over, but the Elite is just completely decimated, said Excalibur. Footage from last week's AEW World Championship match, MJF following the match. MJF, Bryan Danielson, you stuck your nose in my business. Guess what, Bryan Danielson? When it comes to the reign of terror, you will eat less of what you desire and more of what you deserve. Tony Schiavone interviewed Action Andretti backstage. Action said he had Ricky's back. Matt Menard and Angelo Parker distracted Action Andretti while Jericho threw a fireball into Action's face. We have Renee Paquette in the ring to interview American Dragon Bryan Danielson. Danielson, I don't expect the Blackpool Combat Club to forgive William Regal. He done some pretty bad things. But here's the thing. I first trained to wrestle right here in San Antonio. My very first match was 15 minutes up the road. The man who turned me into a wrestler today is William Regal. He turned me into a person that I am today. To note, he mentioned the WWE Hall of Famer, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. And it was a given that everybody was going to break out saying HBK. Who would have thunk on AEW television we were going to have a WWE vice president's name being chanted on a AEW television? The times, I swear to Christ. I understand that Max Mox and Claudio and Wheeler, they don't have the same relationship. But when Regal was in the hospital and I don't think I'd see him again, I cried because that man made my life better. So when he gets to come here, and I love having William Regal in AEW. And the one thing William Regal taught me is there are consequences to your actions. One thing MJF needs to learn, that there's consequences to your actions. Max, I don't think for a second that I haven't been listening to every word you've said. MJF, you call me a coward? Get your ass out here right now. All ego Ethan Page music hits. Page and Stokely Hathaway walk onto the ramp. Ethan Page, for some odd reason, Vegetable Man here thinks he gets to jump ahead of the line. Hathaway, that's crazy. Danielson, it sounds like you just insulting me by calling me a vegetable man. It could have been taken two ways, because he's a vegan and he did get knocked in the head once a time or two, you know? Paige, I want to make something very clear. I didn't call you a vegetable man because of what you eat and the way you live your life. I call you a vegetable man because if you think you're jumping in the head of Ethan Page, I will literally turn you into a vegetable. Danielson, why don't you do it right here, right now in San Antonio, Texas? Paige, I have no problem popping off the top, but these pants are staying on. I say we do it next week. You guys suck. I'm not doing it for San Antonio. I'll see you next week, Brian. AEW World Champion was watching the monitor backstage, smiling. FTW Champ Hook versus Exodus Prime. Hook grappled Prime to the mat. Hook slugged away at Exodus Prime in the corner. Hook used a high cradle suplex on Exodus. Hook leaned in and walloped Prime with a lariat. Hook locked in Red Rum and left Exodus Prime no choice to tap out. There was a cameraman backstage, and Lee Moriarty and Big Bill were attacking Jungle Boy. Jack Perry. Big Bill chokeslammed Jungle Boy into a dumpster. Stokely Hathaway was sending a message to Hook. John Moxley versus Top Flight Darius Martin. Darius tried for a shoulder tackle on Mox, and Mox barely budged. Darius tripped Moxley and followed up with a dropkick. Moxley booted Darius in the midsection. Moxley suplexed Darius on the corner of the floor, on the concrete floor of the arena. Dante went to check on his brother, and Moxley shoved him out of the way. Darius flew out to the ring and smacked into Mox with a tope. Moxley turned Darius inside out with a suplex type maneuver. Mox stomped on Darius's elbow and then chopped away on Darius's chest. He headbutted Darius. Mox popped up Darius on the turnbuckles and suplexed Darius into the ring. Moxley was looking for a brainbuster, but Darius floated over. They traded strikes in the center of the ring. Moxley kicked Darius in the kneecap. Darius fired back with a running up European uppercut and then a shoulder tackle to Mox's midsection. Darius nailed Mox with a flatliner off the bottom rope for a near fall. Darius hit Mox with a diving crossbody, but Mox rolled through. Capturing the wrists, Mox stomped down on Darius. Mox followed up with a hammer and anvil elbows. Mox spiked Darius with the Death Rider and then was vicious via pin. AAA and IWGP Tag Team Champions FTR versus the Guns, Austin and Colton. Cash elbowed Colton in the back, then delivered an atomic drop to Austin. Cash back body dropped Austin. FTR took the flight to Guns outside the ring, whipping them into the barricades. Dax tagged in and cleared house on the Guns with right hands. Dax fought through his injuries and nailed Colton with a lariat. Colt grabbed the boot of Dax and smacked Dax's face into the apron. Cash flew out of the ring with a tope to Colton. Austin rammed Dax into the steel ring steps. Austin applied the sharpshooter to Dax, but Cash ran in with a body block to break up the hold. Dax attempted a pile driver on Austin, but due to injury, he couldn't hoist Austin up. Austin reversed the roll and with the assistance of Colton, pinned Dax. That's not a good situation. I don't know what's going on with their contracts. I think they're up next month. I'm not 100% sure. But if they keep losing these titles, it's fucking plain as day. They're going back to WWE and the revival will be revived. But if somebody could give me the information, I'll gladly clear everything up. Rick Ross mediated a face-to-face meeting with Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland in the ring. Keith Lee was in the ring. Rick Ross tried to introduce Swerve, but Swerve casually strolled out. Swerve, I'm not waiting for nobody. Swerve, I'm going to start doing things Swerve's way. Keith, I really tried to work with you, bro. Me and you, we should own everything. Ross, I can't deal with all the accusations that Keith Lee, you can't keep your eyes on the ball. And honestly, you need to keep your eyes on the back of your head from now on. Parker Boudreaux, Harlan, attacked Keith Lee from behind. Keith Lee rallied back with clotheslines Parker over the top rope. Keith Lee marched towards Swerve, but Keith Lee jumped from behind by one of Swerve's affiliates. Parker swung a steel chair at Keith Lee's back. Swerve affiliates continued to assault Keith Lee. Rick Ross, it's time to make history. Keith Lee was set up on the steel steps. Swerve jumped off the top rope and used a double foot stomp on Keith Lee, smashing the cinder block across Keith Lee's chest. Do I care? Do I really care about this? I don't. I had better time dealing with Jungle Boy and Christian Cage. Main event time. Jamie Hayter versus Hikaru Shida for the AEW Women's World Championship match. Hayter went for a wild swing, but Shida ducked and countered with elbows of her own. Hayter battered Shida with strikes. Shida dropped Hayter with a knee strike. Shida suplexed Hayter onto the turnbuckles. Shida rocked Hayter with a big knee strike. Hayter and Shida collided in the center of the ring with clotheslines on one another, each wrestler having the same strategy in mind. Shida blasted Hayter with a missile dropkick. Hayter used a snapmare off the turnbuckles onto Shida, sending Shida crashing onto the apron. Shida nailed Hayter with a brainbuster off the apron onto the arena floor. Hayter tried for a moonsault, but Shida rolled out of the way. Shida followed up with a running knee for a near fall on Hayter. The champ rallied back with a sliding lariat for a near fall on Shida. The fans chanted, "This is awesome. This is awesome." Sheeta rocked Hayter with a combination assault and then released German suplex. Dr. Britt Baker jumped on the apron with a kendo stick while Rebby, whatever her name is, distracted the referee. Sheeta grabbed the kendo stick and attacked Baker. Hayter powerbombed Sheeta for a near fall. An absolute barn burner here in our main event, said Excalibur. Hayter cracked Sheeta with a Hayter aid and then pinned Sheeta. What a battle for both ladies. Amazing, said Taz. Baker and Rebel attacked Sheeta out of the match. Tony Storm sprinted to the storm to even up the odds. Hayter hit Storm in the back of the head with the title belt. Saraya sprinted to the ring and sent Baker flying out of the ring with a thrust kick. So this next Wednesday will be at the First Bank Center in Bloomfield, Colorado. Now, it's weird. I mean, we have actual fucking people that can hold a wrestling match that unfortunately we had to have Britt Baker, but we can have these types of matches. Shocking, is it? I think if they're gonna have Rick Ross there, I think Tony Khan is gonna have to work something out because he's gonna drop the F-bomb so many fucking times. He's gonna have to pay that. Tony Khan should not have to pay that. But also Tony Khan should fucking tell him, hey, stop with the F-bombs. So it's a weird situation. But that is it. That's it for episode 270. I hope everybody's going to have a great Christmas weekend. I sure am. Despite that my mom's not here. But I want everybody to have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend. Please drive safely. If you are drinking and you don't have a designated driver, please do me a favor. Order an Uber. It's very simple. If you're going to leave at a specific time, you could order it at a specific time. If you're not that crocked at towards the end of the night. But please be safe. We're going to have some bone-chilling cold here in New York. It's going to be like 21 degrees. I'm going to be in the house, underneath the covers, probably watching shit on Peacock or watching shit on the internet. But I want everybody to have a great weekend. I will see you here next week for episode 271. And I'm going to try to do something with the MVP of Raw, SmackDown, AEW, the women's and the men's, and the tag teams. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a top 10 matches. But that'll be it. I mean, we're probably going to not have too many shows next week. So I might try to do stuff to fill that in. If not, you're going to get a very short 271. And then we're going to be on the road to Wrestle Kingdom 17 on the 14th. God help me, I'm getting up early. I'm actually going to be one of those crazy kooks that going to get up. I'm going to get up. I'm going to put it on my TV. I'm going to have coffee in bed. And then around maybe 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to order some breakfast and enjoy the rest of Wrestle Kingdom. And then right after that, I'm going to record my thoughts and the review of the entire show. And are we going to see the boss, Mercedes Bernardo, going to be showing up? And do we see possibly the phenomenal one sitting in the audience watching his OC stablemate, Carl Anderson, retain the IWGP Never Openweight Champion? So have a great rest of your Friday. Get ready for a pre-recorded SmackDown. I don't know if I'm going to be watching it. I'll have it on in the background because my boy's coming home. So Enjoy yourself. Have a great evening. And I'll see you here next week for episode 271. Have a great Christmas. Love you all. And we wish you a Merry Christmas here at Mel's Mat Chat. Have a great day. Bye-bye.